Hi everyone. Today I'm here in Washington, D.C. with my dear friend Erika Ettin, who is a famous dating coach and the founder of A Little Nudge.
Yep.
And I didn't realize until today some of the things that she does
It's true.
to help people find love, right?
Yeah.
You guys have to read her book, Love at First Sight. It's a great book.
Thank you.
And that's how I met you. That's how I met
true,
you. When I was writing my book, I met you on
He found me on Twitter.
Twitter, yeah, and I tweeted her.
That is true.
I tweeted her. You help people develop dating profiles.
I do that.
Take pictures of them.
I do that too.
Tell them, what to write, what they shouldn't write, those types of things.
Turns out I'm actually writing it. So
She's Hitch.
I am Hitch-ette.
Hitch-ette.
So I have a package I call the Platinum package, and that is the one where you're essentially outsourcing your online dating to me. So what does that mean? I'm actually logging into your account. Obviously, you have to have a lot of trust in me to do this. My goal is not to fool anyone. My goal is to get you on dates that you wouldn't otherwise be on. But with the full knowledge that I'm the one writing the messages, not you. So I play the role of many different people. Right now, it ranges from a 27-year-old woman in Washington, D.C. to a 61-year-old man in Pasadena, California, to a 75-year-old woman in New York. I got someone in Hawaii. And so I have to embody all of these people in order to go online and get them dates.
So,
I know.
It
sounds crazy. And it's funny, I started the business almost 8 years ago, and I thought, I wonder if anyone's going to sign up for this package. Like, is that something people want? Turns out, yeah, everyone wants the relationship, but they don't want to do the work. So if the debate is between don't do anything, don't be in a relationship, or pay someone else to do it for me, a lot of people are choosing the latter.
If I came to you,
you're my client,
and said, help me out here.
Should I take him as a client? Yes.
So,
okay.
So I said,
so
help
I
me
meet
out
with
here.
you for an hour or talk to you on the phone. And in order to write you a profile, we talk about what online dating sites you should be on. I then write your profile from scratch for whichever sites we decide on. I get you a professional photography session, either with me or with somebody in your
Can
area.
I have my gym pictures?
You cannot have your gym pictures. No, I don't. Don't even get me set. How much time do we have? I have rules for the pictures. But I get your pictures taken. So basically, I am making sure you're putting your best foot forward online and marketing yourself well.
Okay.
But it doesn't stop there because, let's say, it's the same as, let's say you pay for a gym membership, but you never set foot in the gym. You're not going to hit your fitness goals. If you put yourself online, but never do anything with it, you're not going to get dates.
So I would say,
I'll
this
go
is
like,
what I'm looking for.
I'm logging into Match.com. Yeah, you tell me what you're looking for, and then I use those objective criteria in addition to subjective things, if I think you have things in common, if I think she's cute for you, if I know your type and I think, oh yeah, sure. But I also have to look at who's looking for you. My clients sometimes forget that. Like, they're like, I want X, Y, and Z. Why aren't you fine? I'm like, well, actually, I have to look for X, Y, and Z, but then I have to find the person on the other side who wants A, B, and C, which is what you are. So, and then I initiate conversations,
You write the emails.
Yeah, I write the emails. Yes.
You would write an email to
Hey,
saying,
I noticed in your profile that you used to live in Washington, D.C. I actually just traveled to D.C. for a business meeting. Anything in particular I should have done while I was there? Hope to talk soon, Antonio.
Isn't that amazing? And then you carry on a conversation with this person?
Yeah, she gets back to you. Oh, yes, you should definitely go to the Spy Museum. It's a really interesting place. Although, the Smithsonian museums are free. Do you like museums? And then you write back, I write back, I do, but my kids really hate museums. So I decided we should go on vacations on cruises because my kids don't have any museums to say no to. And then it's the conversation, she gets back to you, and then in the next message I might say, I'm really enjoying this conversation. Would you like to meet me for a drink next Wednesday or Thursday? Let me know where you're coming from and I'll pick a place.
And then pick the
place. The thing is, I don't live in Detroit.
So she was telling me that she was working with someone in Birmingham, Michigan, which is close to where I live, and she was like telling me about the restaurants that she sets up people on dates at.
Yeah, Yes.
What?
I go online, Google Maps, Yelp. I look at pictures to make sure, I was just telling Antonio, to make sure the seats at the bar have backs on them, because some of my clients don't want to sit on backless seats. I mean, I try to make sure the bar area is big enough so they get a seat. If I'm sending people out on a Thursday night, that's a pretty popular night to go out. I want to make sure they're not standing around waiting. So I have to think about all of these things. I try to make the date a little more convenient for the woman. If you are my client, as the guy, I will take more of the lead. I will ask what's convenient for her. I will do all of the things that most women want, and you benefit from it. All you have to do now...
So you set it up all the way to the point
where they meet. So what you have to do is read the whole email chain, which I send to you. I send you like a document. It's the whole email chain, a screenshot of her profile, and the details at the top of where you're meeting, what time, and her phone number, if I've exchanged the numbers. No texting beforehand. I don't allow that because...
What do you do when someone asks you that they want to text you or something?
Just suggest meeting instead.
Oh, okay.
Like if someone says, here's my number, let's text. As you, I would say, actually, I'd rather just meet. Are you open to meeting for a drink instead?
I like the way she thinks.
Because you're just delaying the inevitable if you text, and and someone is bound to say something they don't want to say over text. I call texting the death of the first date, because somehow dates just don't happen when there's too much texting beforehand. So yes, I get all of my clients to the point of the date. If someone's insistent on a phone call, I'll try to work around that, but then you go on your date, you have a great time, you wow everyone, and then I send you a survey to fill out after. It takes 5 minutes, just so I know how the date went. I do have a section in the survey, how was the venue, because I need to know if I should use it again. And then we have a phone call to discuss.
And then you talk to them about...
Yeah, and then I will never be in communication with that date again. Once you have had any communication with that person, phone, text, date, I pull myself out of the process because I don't know what you've talked about.
Right. Wow.
Yeah.
So you, this is made, like, I would like, this would be perfect. Like, you do everything,
I do everything
from A to Z.
I just won't show up on the date for you.
Except what, have you ever done that?
No.
Why? What if someone needed a little coaching, like with a walkie-talkie or something?
No, I gotta have a life too. I think I have time to be on everyone else's dates. I need to live.
What if someone needed a little encouragement, like they were
Then
nervous?
I give them a pep talk before the date. I give a lot of pep talks.
So sometimes you're a man,
I prefer being a man because as a woman, it's very clear to me what most women, I can't generalize, it's not every woman, but I know what most women want. So as the man, I can do all of the things that I know most women want. It's being decisive, it's choosing a location near her. If I'm doing it as a woman, I'm not emotionally invested like my clients are. So it's if someone just stops writing, well, it's annoying. I don't take it personally, whereas my client might. So I'm kind of shielding them from that too.
Tell me some success stories. I know you've had.
Yeah, it's great.
Tons of them.
So one of my first ever platinum clients, it was I've never met him in person. He lives in Iowa. And I still remember I found a woman on Match.com for him, Holly, and I think I called him and said, this woman seems amazing for you. And I don't usually do stuff like that because chemistry, you can't predict that,
yeah.
right? So after a date, he calls me and he goes, Erika, she kissed me. He's like, she planted me down and kissed, and I'm like, you keep her. Anyway, they got married.
What?
Yada, yada, yada. A few things happened in between. And it's nice. They both have kids the same age. And they got married. And she knows about me. She knows that I was the one sending her messages.
Yeah, that's a great question. So, like, do people tell?
But I always tell them when they sign up, you know what you're signing up for. You're outsourcing. If you decide to share that with someone, that is completely up to you. And only once, this was really neat. My client was a man in New York. I was messaging women for him. He ended up in a relationship for about a year with a woman who I had written to on Match.com, which I know, I hear myself and I hear how crazy it sounds, but it works. Anyway, they were, pretty serious. He told her about me, and I met them once for a jazz concert in New York, and it was so much fun and totally weird.
When you're doing an email for someone,
yeah,
you think about like you're them.
Yeah, for example, like the 27-year-old woman I'm working with, I'm more inclined to like put a smiley face or an emoji than I am the 75-year-old woman. You know, I'm not gonna emoji up her emails. I wouldn't put more than one in any email regardless, because I think it makes people, especially in a first email, not.
Oh, you don't really?
I wouldn't put more than one in a first email. It makes you look a little less intelligent. Yeah.
That must be a problem that I'm having, because sometimes I put 3, 4 at the end. Ding, ding, ding.
It's too much. Or you're too emotive. Like, that's too much. You don't know this person.
I put them in my comments on
Stop
YouTube.
it.
Like I end with like 3 or 4 happy faces or something.
People will take you more seriously if you don't. I mean, I remember I used to work at Fannie Mae before this career, and they used to tell me I used too many exclamation points, and I'm like, I'm a happy person. I should have known then that it was not the right job for me, right?
Oh my god.
I know. No, I mean, everything is a first impression. The profile is a first impression. Your pictures are a first impression. Your first message is a first impression. I would be a little leery if a man sent me a message with 4 or 5 emojis in it. It just, I don't know, it's not a red flag, but it's like a little pink flag, yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I thought I was being
Is he serious? Is he too goofy? People think all kinds of things, and it's usually, when people have to fill in the gaps, it's usually not a complimentary fill-in, you know?
Here's a problem that I've had.
Okay.
Personally.
Uh-huh.
When people know what I do.
Yeah, I understand that.
Then they're like...
You're analyzing me,
Yeah.
or they think you're on the dating
Doing
sites.
research.
Correct, doing research. I mean, look, I've been single at various points doing my job. I get the same exact thing. This is a question I've had to answer myself. And I have said before, I try to keep my work and my personal life separate. Yeah, it sounds like fun to people, right? Because we deal with dating and relationships. But to us, that's our job. So we don't want to be talking about work all the time on our dates, right?
Yeah, that's true. I never.
So,
like, people ask me, like, do you analyze? I'm like, never. And I'm like, why? I don't know.
Right, and if they say, oh, you're just here for research, you can say, no, actually, I'm using the tools that are out there just like I recommend to people. Boom.
Let's go get a drink.
Okay.